Hi friends, welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. Today we're going to do a card that looks like it could be Valentine's, but it could be other things. The sentiment says, "Sending heartfelt thoughts," which is actually from a celebration set. This is the celebration set, so where the sentiment comes from. Also a beautiful set. We're going to use it on one of the other projects also. But the main set we're using is this Heart Happiness stamp set, which is in the Occasions catalog. And we're using the Sweet and Sassy framelits. So we're going to use these three hearts, and they come in two different shapes. So there's the kind that come to a point, and then the ones that are sort of more regular shaped hearts. So it's a really great, big set of hearts. So very fun. So this card is super simple, and just kind of show you the basic construction part first. So there's my card base. And then I've taken a piece of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper, one of the papers in the Occasions catalog that I love. It's all black and white patterns, and all of the patterns are going to be an option to use for this project. And I actually want to show you all the patterns. So this is actually my display of the suite itself. So there's the thin organza ribbon, which can be dyed. This is a sample we made at on stage when I was in Utah. And then here are all the patterns sort of laid out. So I was thinking for this particular design that, you know, doing something like the stripes or the dots or this geometric would be a great option for a more masculine version, you know, of a card, whether it's Valentine's or otherwise. So, and then of course these little embellishments are also part of the Petal Passion suite. So I'm going to take that piece of designer paper. It's 3 3/4 inch by 5.5, so it goes the full height of the card. And then I just took a strip of black and attached it to the edge. Then I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the end of the card so it's flush. And then there's another piece in here, a black strip, and it's supposed to be the horizontal piece, and it is dry embossed. So I used the Softly Falling embossing folder. So we're using our Big Shot platform, and then I'm going to use 2 cutting pads. And you can decide where on your embossing folder you want to put it. So if you want more dots, you'd have it down low or up high. So I kind of like to go kind of in the middle. And this really just creates some texture. It's kind of hard to see it on the card if you're not looking closely at it, but it just makes it a little bit less empty. And there you go. There's your nice little pattern. You can see it. Okay, simple. And then we are going to do one more thing on the Big Shot in just a minute. So we're using these 3 images from the Heart Happiness set. I've already stamped and punched out this one, and I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap paper. Now when I use the photopolymer stamps, I really like to use the Memento black ink just because it won't stain the stamps. It's not a crisis if they do stain the stamps, but you can see through them a lot better if they're not stained. So my preference is to use the Memento because then they get a little bit cleaner looking. They still have sort of a grayish hue on them, but I'm going to just stamp my little itty bitty heart, and you can do this on either real red cardstock or on white cardstock with the real red ink. So the sentiment is the other thing you're going to stamp here. And this is a red rubber stamp set, so I'm not worried about it getting stained, but I am doing it on a piece of silver foil. So in order for the ink to actually stay on there, it needs to be the archival black ink. So we are using the archival black for this particular step. And you'll notice that it's a little bit blurry on there. So when you stamp on the foil, it's a very slick kind of surface. So it's sort of subject to kind of a little bit of movement if you're not real careful. So I still think that's acceptable, but it's just something to be aware of when you do your stamping on the foil. Next, I'm going to do my die cutting using the magnetic platform. So I have stamped and die cut the other hearts off camera. Now we got all 3 of our little images. So I'm gonna take my real red marker and just decide on some random spots where I want to color it in. All right, so I put dimensionals on the back side of these two. And these are the only two things that are on dimensionals. So all I really have to do is just attach that piece. So in the example you see in front of you, I attached the long black vertical strip to the designer paper first. If you do it this way, the black horizontal strip will likely not be the right length. It'll either be too short or too long. So there is an alternative. So here I have attached the horizontal piece to the designer paper first, and then I will attach the vertical strip to the left side so that it fits flush with the left side of the horizontal strip. That way you can be assured that the horizontal strip is the right length. All we have left to do is simply assemble the card. So for those of you getting kits in the mail, I included both the die-cut heart pieces as well as some punched out flowers like the pansy you see in front of you, which coordinates with the Flower Shop stamp set. If you have this stamp set, you can use a Stamp-A-Majig to line up those images on the punched flowers. Here's an example of a card made with those flowers. If you don't have this stamp set, just look for something in your collection. I used the image in Flourishing Phrases, the big flower, to create this card, and I just stamped over that punched pansy shape. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to watch to the very end because I included a funny little blooper. Gotta laugh at myself. Happy crafting! But in this case, I'm going to use the magnetic platform just so that my die stays down. This is something I do in my videos a lot of times. I ding my lights by accident. Like sound effects.